Yo, yo, yo. I'll be doing a live review of Excel against Fnatic. It's 2-2 actually in the banger series. So it's going to be actually a banger. So I'm just going to be live reviewing this game and explaining my thought process basically. So before I see things what's going to happen, right? Because I'm watching live. So you guys can actually learn better as well and get a better understanding of like what the thought process is and let's actually see what happens. Because I think personally that is the best way to learn, which is by watching before having seen the results and thinking from your perspective what you've done in that situation and see what they do. And then you can compare and be like, oh, this is better or worse and get a good idea, okay? So let's get to it. This game, first things first, you always have to look at team compositions, right? So left side, right side, what is each team's team condition, win condition? Did they want a team fight? Did they want to play side lane? Did they win pre-6? Did they win after 6? Are they like a 4-1 team comp? You have to think about those things, which is very important, right? So let's look at their draft, okay? So I would say that if you look at the champions that have locked in, right? The last picked Malphite, it seems, right? Yeah, the last picked Malphite. It was Malphite? It was Malphite, okay. So if you look at both team compositions, usually the way I like to break it down is I always like to evaluate from Jones' perspective, which is that, okay, Sejuani with, let's say, K'Sante. Did they win 2v2? And pre-6 and after 6. Like, how does it change, right? Because pre-6 as well, let's say Ari, Sejuani together. Do they win against... Wait, what's the jungler? Do they win against Talia plus Tristana, for example, right? And those things you have to evaluate. Well, actually, it's an Ornn, it's not a Malphite joke. But yeah, those are the things you have to evaluate. Because let's say that pre-6, I would say that, let's say from Excel perspective, I do think that they could make some magic happen around. In pre-6, if you look at the champs, I would say that Sejuani probably is going to look to path bot side. Top lane, there's not much you can do. Mid lane, there's not much you can do. Because enemy team is super safe. And bot lane is very volatile, right? So I would say that his job pre-6 is to make sure that his bot lane is chilling. The moment Zeri Rakan, his level 6 with Sejuani, is going to be, I would say, turned around a little bit more. Because then at that point, it's going to be easier for them to fight. But pre-6 is quite difficult, right? So you'll have to think about what each team compositions want to do, which is very important. And if you look from Fnatic's perspective, right, they have like locked on CC with like a nulless hook that they can just WEQ someone, right? Of course, ideally, always in skirmishes, they should look to focus the AD carry slash jungler and not the support. But those are just the things you'll have to be thinking about usually in general. So if you know a bit, okay, what is each team's pre-6 game plan, you'll have a better idea as well what people can do. Of course, you have to not forget level 1. Can maybe Fnatic invade level 1 because they have Nodus Talia. Because Talia is strong as a giant, right? So you have to be thinking, okay, can they maybe late invade and can they win, right? Those are the things you can always evaluate and make a game plan around. I think this game personally, I would see Rosar just starting on his Raptors, left in bot side. See if there's an opportunity on bot lane. And of course, if there's an opportunity on bot lane, he should look for it. If not, just keep farming, right? Whereas Sejuani kind of wants to play a bit more defensive. Make sure they're okay. Of course, if they can get a ward on enemy Raptors, that would be the best. Because let's say that Talia is doing a full clear topside, okay? And they know it. Then maybe Sejuani can look for a bowling gank. While Talia is not there, let's say. So it's going to depend on many factors, right? But that's what I think is going to happen this game. But let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so both people are going to path towards the bot side, like I said, because top and mid is no business. So you always want to be thinking, what does the enemy team want to do? And with that, you will know as well what you can do, right? Okay, I mean, we're watching live at the moment, so there's nothing too crazy going on. But yeah, sneeze. So here's the thing. Fnatic has a big slow push. And the thing is that they can't really use the slow push for a dive because Sejuani is covering her, right? So what's gonna happen is that very likely Fnatic is just gonna look to take all his bot camps, look for the crab, potentially look for an invade because he has the bot push and the mid lane push, and try to fuck up the Sejuani, right? Those are the options he has because Talia clears quite fast. And yeah, let's see. And just saying, I think pre-6 I explained a bit what's going on, but after 6, right? I think after 6, I think left side becomes a bit stronger, but then again, at the same time, if left side is hard committing, and let's say the focus is support, it might not go that well, right? Like you always have to think about skirmishes, how it's gonna go as well, and how you want to fight it. But okay, it seems like they want to go for a dive. Okay, so before you go for a dive in general, okay, the general rule always is that support wants to tank, always focus enemy AD carry if they can, and the moment support tanks, they send it. So of course, support ideally what he wants to do is make sure he sees the damage dealers, because moment Nolus hooks, he needs damage dealers, right? So that's a bit how you have to think about it. So I think this type honestly will be not necessarily that easy to execute, because I think that if this guy blocks a hook, this guy just has to walk up on the Zeri and hit him. I think it's gonna be difficult because they have like exhaust plus heal. They have 2 defensive summoners, right? And Sejuani is hovering. So I personally think this dive will not be good, but let's see if they go for it. Okay, they're not going for it. Oh my goodness, they got limit. Oh my god, that was really troll. Okay, they actually managed to step, which is actually really well played from Fnatic. Because I think that they couldn't have gone for Zeri, had a super good position. You could always like flash here, the worst case, right? And exhaust heal. But I did manage to get Mr. Limit, so. And here's the thing as well, right? I think he could have survived. If he actually pops the exhaust a bit earlier, and the heal is as well a bit earlier, like instantly, right? Because they have a lot of damage. Before the ignite, he could have survived, but they didn't really think about the damage output, which can happen, right? Okay, so here's the key thing, okay? Let's just look from the next perspective, because as of this moment, in my opinion, this is looking really good for Fnatic, right? They just literally got a kill, and they even want to go for another one potentially, which I think is actually... Actually, do I like this one or not? Let me see. I mean, personally, I think going for this play is not that good, because the thing is that if he's gonna drop some CS, okay, and these guys are wasting their tempo, I think it's not as good, because imagine that Nautilus is just pressing B, okay. Well, what they can always do, if they want to deny, this is like kind of big brain, right? But there's something you can do, which is that you could... Nautilus could like go in the fog here, in the jungle. If they know they have no ward in the tri-bush, he can press B. Talia takes the bot crab, presses B as well. And Kalista can like walk up a bit and fake pressure him. Which would force the enemy Sejuani to be like, wait, I think they might look for a dive. So it would waste enemy jungle time. It'd make them lose CS. And both AD carries are a bit down tempo, but the most important thing is jungle plus support tempo. Not necessarily AD carry. Of course, it's nice if Kalista gets a good base, but if support can move mid lane first with the jungler together, this guy can play. Especially since this wave is low-key slow pushing, and it's gonna be super easy to force Talia flash right here if they move towards mid lane. So I personally think if he's gonna drop some CS right, then yeah, it would be in good shape. Because now they wasted a lot of timing, and I think just it's like a lot of seconds wasted. Like a lot. But this is a bit how we can like play a bit mind games and just make him lose CS as well. But yeah. So right now, the sucky thing is that I think he loses the bot grab as well, which he shouldn't have lost. He for sure should have gotten the bot grab and have the same tempo here as well. And I believe as well, because look at the timer, right? The Nautilus is 340. Okay, at 340 he could for sure channel B here. Right there. At 340 he will be 348 in base, okay? The same thing is gonna happen, right? Which means he's gonna lose 3 melee minions. But they're just gonna press B. Or take the crap. So it's 48 he will be in base, okay? So with 48, this wave that's coming, Nautilus will be for sure walking on mid lane here. On this wave right here. And if Irie tips back, he could be looking here instantly for a quickie. And of course, if Talia base as well, he would have been able to even take the top crab maybe, and he should have already finished his golems. But let's keep watching for now. Let me see. Okay, Talia is going for the top crab because he saw that Sejuani base a bit later. Like, look, he saw Sejuani here, right? So he knows he has tempo on him, so he can for sure take the top crab. And of course, since Razork knows that he started top side, he's gonna go top side to top the bot very likely, okay? And not much is gonna happen here. Like, oh, there's a little fight here. Nothing gonna happen here really. Personally, I think looking for a quickie here, see what happens is Gucci. I think it was a nice try. You know, just full clear. Nothing really is gonna happen. Like I said, pre-6 is more about playing bot side. After 6, I think Excel has more tools to play the game. And it's like Sejuani has the ult and Talia doesn't, right? But of course, you have to think as well about how you want to fight. Because I think that if they initiate, okay, on a Nautilus, they lose with Kalista ultimate. They don't want to do that. If they get initiated on, okay, and Rakan ults with counter gank, like, basically counter initiates with his ultimate, they should win. Okay, I want to see this one here because Rozok right now is going mid lane. Because I guess Iris level 6, so he wants to like hover a little bit. I think what Rozok is doing here by showing himself is not that great. I think personally, right here, when mid lane is kind of okay, and he has a push, and if they know Sejuani is bot side, moving into bot side is low-key a waste of time because Ari can follow and Sejuani is covering. So there's no dive play, and neither a Drake play. So right now, instead of actually doing this, I would have preferred to see him taking his bot side camps here, really recycle these camps, and then maybe on the next wave, look to walk through bot lane. I personally think this play would have been super good if it was the reverse pathing, which means that if Sejuani was pathing to our top side, okay, and he just finishes bot side, I think this pathing is good because it forces Sejuani to sit on the bot side while his top side camps are up. And Rozok could easier access his bot side, right? But right here, I don't think there's a play because Sejuani is around and Ari can follow. So there's a little bit wasted tempo. And how you can recognize those things is by just knowing, okay, if Sejuani might be around bot side, it's not that good to look for a dive because if he's human, he will cover, right? So I feel like this once again is wasted tempo. And just these small things, right, actually make a huge difference because I'm telling you that if Talia resets the bot side camps here, on every single wave he can do this. But he will jail the enemy Sejuani here. Because his camps could have been respawned at, let's say 550 if he went to his wolves, okay? But instead of 550, which means that it would spawn around 815, right? Or 810, yeah, something like that, right? Now it's like close to like 845, which is 30 to 40 seconds later, which is not really ideal. And of course, Sejuani did take his camps. And Rozok didn't. Because the main thing is that, especially if you're in a winning position and enemy team has to defend, if like let's say enemy team is good and you're good, enemy jungler is using his resources to cover while you think one step ahead as Talia and be like, okay, he has to cover, so I'm gonna use that to full clear and just force him to be there. Okay, now he's the one getting invaded, and I think that's mainly because they rotated towards the bot side, right? And Ari was first in mid lane. Could be wrong, but that's pretty much the same time. Okay, so I think right here, I mean, the things they'll force his flash, but I do think, okay, from Excel perspective, if they don't manage to kill him, Ari will not have ultimate for the Herald, which would be really bad, right? So if they go for Rozok, they have to make sure they kill him, which honestly I do think they can kill him if he goes from this direction. Like, Rozok is gonna die here. If Ari is not boosted, he's gonna ult on him, W, see if he chokes with his flash, and charm him. Because a flash will not even save him. He's gonna walk up on him. Oh. Okay, I think that it was for sure a good play. But the thing is misexecuted, right? Like, right here, like, with his meter range, he could, like, force this guy to choke, and he could easily charm him. He could even still hold his charm here, okay, if he's, like, really not sure. Because this guy could only flash hero here. If he gets hit by charm, he's dead no matter what. But if he lands his charm here and ult him, he's gonna die here. But that's just, like, individual misplay, right? But the idea in itself was actually really good. I do think he should have died right here, and I think this should have been Gucci. Okay, now Peach died, and now it's this really important thing, where is that, like, now they died, and Ari has no ultimate, and of course Ordu uses ultimate, so it's like kind of like top has no ult and mid has no ult, right? So the question, I think Fnatic's asking themselves, okay, we just used the ult, can we still contest the Herald? So if they feel like 3-3, they can contest the Herald, they should definitely fight for it. However, let's say for some reason they're like, we're not sure, then they have to find other ways, which is that, okay, through bot lane, can they look to push bot lane and have their support here, right? If that's the case, they can still secure the Herald. If not, that's okay. Ideally, you want to ward the Herald and just play towards the bot side. So if you see Sejuani start Herald, they can dive their bot lane every single wave. And that should be the plan. And honestly, I think looking right here, I think that even though Arya is an ultimate, I think Sejuani is level 6 very soon. I think that Exile is stronger at the Herald fight. That's what I think. So I think that Fnatic should put a ward down and look to trade and play bot side if they go for the Herald. Because they basically have like one ult advantage, which is on Sejuani. And I think Ornn without ult versus K'Sante, I think K'Sante is just much stronger at the moment. Even though Ahri does not have ultimate. But I do think Abadagi made a mistake by not basing. I'm not sure how much gold he has, right? But he has for sure a lot of gold. I think right here, as he pushes the wave, or catches the wave, he has to really, really base. And just catch the wave and then play into the Herald. But I'm not sure what's the reason he stayed here exactly, because I think that even if Tristana crashes this wave, right, it's very important for him to just base. To be as strong as possible. Because I'm pretty sure he has like at least 800 to 900 gold. Okay, now he based 1 wave later. Okay, but as you can see, XL is taking the Herald. So, did it put a ward on the Herald? Yes, okay, so that's the perfect what Fnatic did. Around Herald timing, if you know you lose it, just ward the Herald and look to trade. And the moment they start Herald, okay, they should already have like an idea, okay, if he start the Herald, let's dive bot lane on this wave or this wave that's coming. So ideally right now, if they can dive them on this wave, go for it. If not, then they should just take the Drake here. And play for a trade, because that's what it is, right? You always have to think, can you play for it? Yes or no? And they decided no, and I think that's the right choice. So right here, they're actually full swapping, which I think is actually very good, actually. I think I do really like the swap, because they're looking for a trade, right? But I do think when they look for a trade, K'Sante's job is to make sure he hard pushes this wave as well. Like, K'Sante right now is playing for trade on Ornn, do you see? On minimap. Right now he's like low-key trading on him. But that should not be the main goal. His main goal should be take the wave ASAP and look to swap. Like, don't even hit his Ornn. He should just be hitting the wave here, try to get the base as soon as possible, secure the Herald, base in Fog, go bot lane. If they do this right, Zera Rakan on top lane is gonna get a lot. And they have the Herald as well, right? And I'm pretty sure they can dive him after 6. So this is an option they could have done, but especially if they full swap like this. Because I think if K'Sante doesn't base and go bot lane, okay, maybe they're full swapping. Okay. What Excel's doing is basically they want to chunk this guy and 5-man top lane and ignore bot lane. That's basically their plan here, from what I'm seeing at least. So they're not planning to just swap. They're just planning to take this full tower, which actually is actually pretty good, I think, honestly. Because right now they kill this guy, so now they can have this guy base, plus Sejuani Recon, and have Zeri alone standing here. And they can just go back bot lane. So that's actually really nice. Okay, Sejuani has the Herald, so he's gonna stay around longer. So that's perfect, actually. It's a really good rotation. So Rakan's gonna cover the K'Sante on bot lane. Wait, is the K'Sante stay top lane? Oh, he's together bot lane. Actually, that's really well played from Excel. They completely full setted it there. And in my original thought process was like, okay, K'Sante's gonna push, go bot lane, and they're gonna dive the Ornn without the K'Sante. Instead, they decided to 5-man it and just kill this guy. Which I do think is better, actually. I like this more. Because what they could always do, right, is... Actually, nah, I think this one's good, yeah. I actually liked it a lot. And now they played the defend bot lane. So it's actually really good rotation from XL. Because now they took 5 platings, right? And it's still like 1 plating left on bot lane. And Kalista's base is very delayed, which means that K'Sante will have a turn and can move and translate his pressure back into mid lane. So they're definitely going to look to match again now, and Zeri has 1 item. Okay. Okay, so right now from this... oh, sorry. From this perspective, right? You have to think from both positions, okay? So imagine from Excel's perspective. Sejuani wants to ideally, I believe, play through mid lane. Enemy has like no magic mantle. Very hard to kill, sorry, true bot lane I mean. I think the 3v3 Rakan, Sejuani, Zeri is much stronger than theirs. As long as they don't go first. They should just play for the wave, make them hard commit on them, and Rakan counter engage with Sejuani being there. If they overforce too hard, let's say on the Nautilus, I believe they'll lose because of Kalista ultimate, right? But let's see how they play it though. Okay, it seems like he's pinging assists on mid lane, looking for a gank. I think this would have been a good attempt, but I think the issue is that Kalista, Nautilus, and Ornn, everyone's literally moving towards the mid lane right here. So they're 5 mid lane, so it's a quick play, a fast play. But now they lost the ultimate, which is not that nice. Ooh, Mr. Peach. I'm not sure if this was called right from Excel's side, but this is not so good, him getting chunked here. Because even if they don't kill him here, right, this chunk in itself is super good, because now what's going to happen is that they can use this wave to dive them. And Sejuani is like low-key useless. But if Excel can yoink the wave really fast, that would be ideal. Oh my goodness. You fucking trolled it, Patrick. He saw that, oh my god. It would have been so good if he just managed to E normally. Oh, he actually managed to flash it. Okay, but Mr. Peach is trolling a little bit, I would say. Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to be pretty close. Yeah, yeah, I thought so. Okay, let's see this one. There's ult, Iris collapsing. I mean, Kalista is super far away as well, so this is like a little bit awkward. Is this guy just like big braining it and like baiting them here? Oh my god, but that was so close. So like, if the WEQ right arrived slightly earlier, he would have died for sure. And I think this ult was like not as good. I think I did it right. Rosic ulted right here and stands right here. That would have been the best. Because then it's like a pretty good position, right? He would be like around here and he can always kite back. Then Patrick wouldn't be in range and this guy would have to overcommit a bit as well, right? And he still flash, of course. So you can flash here, play enough time that Kalista comes. But it's like it's just like slightly individual, but I think the general idea was like good there. I liked it. But then again, they don't have their... I mean, Ornn is Tristana basically, so... Okay, there's like a little scrap and Rosok died here. Okay, so coming from base here, right? I believe that... let me see who's strong at this point. I mean, I personally think that Fnatic is stronger. Because I think that Kalista right now is just a little bit stronger than Zeri at the moment. But if Zeri gets more item, I think he'll be stronger. So right here, right? If Mr. Talia is looking to take his bossa camps, and I'm not sure why they have or mid lane. That's the only thing I'm wondering. Maybe because Ornn is gonna lose against Kisanti the 1v1, right? But beside that, I mean, I guess Ornn can't really die in mid lane as well. That guy's fucking tanky, and he can get priority whenever. But yeah, they're gonna play into bot lane here permanently, and get full control here as well, right? Because at this moment, this is no-key like early mid game where they're just playing for mid push into side lane and make sure they get the tower. So usually use one turn to take control and the next turn to basically look for a dive. And if let's say they're all covering bot lane and you see them because you have control, you can look to dive mid lane. Because at this point, it's so easy to kill people. G2 used to do this a lot where if everyone covers bot lane, they go mid lane. If they're mid lane, they just go bot lane, right? But first you need control to see where they actually are. So by having wars like these is really good. Because if they see enemy jungle here on bot side, okay, they can always rotate to mid lane and dive. So right here, for example, okay, let's say Sejuani is covering and they see this guy. What they could do here, okay, is Nautilus stands here, make sure he secures the wave, and they can start hovering towards the mid lane. And they will see the enemy rotating towards mid lane, right? But even if they start rotating, they can even fight in the jungle here. And they can collapse from mid bot towards the jungle. If they don't rotate, they can just go quick dive and he's dead, right? And these are the options they have. And I do think if Zeri is alone mid lane, I think Talia and Ornn should look for the Zeri here. Considering that Kalista with Flash and Cleanse should not be able to die, and Nautilus plus Talia is pretty close. Because it's like, in general, like really telegraphed that they're gonna look for bot lane here. So they could just look for a quick kill mid lane here. If there's a wave, which I believe there is. Okay, so right now they're just walking into the bot side here. Okay, let's look at this one, okay? Tristana's teleport. Zeri's collapsing. Talia has no flash. The question is winning or losing? I would say this is winning for Exile, because this is honestly a really bad position for Talia. And Ahri plus Rakan has a pretty good opportunity to look for him. And I don't think they can peel for Talia that easily here. Like, Ornn can ult, sure, but I do think Talia is slightly in the pickle. If Peach is going to show a good ultimate, but let's see. Yeah, that position was super awkward. Shit, banger fight. Yeah, I thought, yeah, that Exile was gonna win that. Because like, that was like a super, super awkward position. And I think here the thing that I didn't consider is that if they're looking to play this aggressive, okay, they need to be aware that enemy top lane can't TP. So it's more like on Tristana to call, okay guys, K'Sante has a window to TP. And if he knows that he's playing Tristana against a K'Sante one item, in general, you don't really want to be fighting. Ideally, the best case scenario is that Tristana is like taking the wave and Loki canceling him, and then they can play like this. But if he's not doing that, the team just has to respect. Because K'Sante one item is so disgusting, man. Like, what a champion. And yeah, it's just that, yeah, pretty hard to survive as Talia here. If Talia was like here, it would have been fine, but if you get collapsed from two sides, it's just so doomed. And honestly, at this point, can they somehow cut losses? It's really hard to recognize, just saying, but the moment a situation like this happens, they probably know it's fucked. They have to be super decisive and be like, drop me, drop me, drop me. Because if Exile's making a play here, and they try to follow, they're not getting anything. Like, imagine Tristana just keep pushing top lane, at least he has TP advantage and might get a tower. But right now, they're just suiciding together, and it's just no Biana, right? But of course, it's harder to recognize in-game, right? But if you just watch, it's pretty easy to be like, hey, you should just drop, but... Like, I could literally pause the game and be like, okay, it's doomed. Like, this is just doomed when I see this in the TP. If maybe Limit wasn't from bot side, let's say they're all from here, maybe he could survive, but... You know, he's getting pincers. Alright, so right here from Fnatic's perspective, like right now they're a little bit fucked because they're getting chased down here, right? Okay. Oof. Oh, that's so close. Okay. Here's the thing where map size is super important, because especially if you're dead like this, okay, and you focus on the fight, after the fight's over, it is so important that each single individual in the team is calling tempo. So right here, after respawn, right? So Talia is dead, Sejuani is 1 HP, he's greeting. So I would say that Excel for sure has tempo, because it depends if they need the base as well or not, right? Nah, but I would say that Excel for sure has tempo. Like Abadag full HP of teleport, Tristana needs the base. If Zeri decides to base right here, right, after pushing the wave, he will be there on the next wave. So they have full map control at the moment. So Excel's kind of on the defensive, and they have to play safe, right? So not Excel, Fnatic. So because of tempo, they might have to give something. So if Excel tries to take the Herald, they just can't do much because they should be first on the map, right? But honestly, I'm surprised that they managed to get the Drake here. How did they manage to do that? Because I don't think that they should have to give the Drake unless they have all no ultimates. Okay, I mean, these guys probably don't want to fight because they have literally 0 ultimates. Ari, Zeri, Rakan, Sejuani without ult sounds pretty NPC to me. And I do think that their champs are better without ultimate. So after XL takes the Herald, I believe that their next objective should be the mid lane tower. So it's all about, okay, on which wave do you want to play for the mid lane tower, right? So if you look at top lanes are really crashed. So I think they can play really fast in mid lane here. Because Ari should easily make it on time on this wave, and if they want to pop it on this mid lane wave, they can do it right now. Just go 4 mid, pop the Herald, break it. Ari can then go top lane. Enemy has to catch the wave here. And as Ari goes top lane, he has TP, and they can then play into bot side. So that would be the best option here, in my opinion, from XL, if they would just run mid lane here. I think that Ari catching this wave here is not really doing that much. I think if he just went mid lane here, these guys could instantly look for a fight. Because this is so important, because even if Ari is not technically on mid lane, okay? It's so important that by just him hovering and being first, that should create an edge in the fight. So if Ari is like, let's say here, okay? Tristana no TP. The moment they step up a little bit, just press your ultimate. No flash. No cleanse. If this guy tries to low-key contest, kill him. If he doesn't, you get a clean Herald crash, and you will probably take the mid lane tower here. And if Tristana decides to continue to push top lane, Ari can then always walk back to top lane and catch the wave. Because it's all about just giving your teammates the space to send it. Even though Rakan's like a little bit far away, they could still easily look to do this. And I think Rakan here as well should not walk through jungle. He should right click into mid lane here. Because they have so much tempo on the map. Remember previously talking about tempo? They have so much tempo here on the map. This is a legit perfect opportunity to just try to fight here. They have every single ultimate. That could have been an opportunity they could have capitalized on, but since they're a bit late, right? They're probably gonna do it the next wave right here. And I think Talia's trying to make a ball in play, but I think it's not gonna work out. He has a tower, it's a K'Sante. K'Sante can just press W or E. He will not die. Unless he jumps in, and even then, I think he will survive. But yeah, I think probably the next wave, they will look to pop the Herald, which is this wave. Because this is the same situation, but like 1 wave later. And I think as well... Okay, wait, there's the Herald, right? Okay, that's interesting. Let me see. Okay, there's a rotate. This shift into bot lane. And getting this tower. I think both options are fine, yeah. It's not too bad as well. Because they could as well, if they want, to break open bot tower, after bot tower is down, then go mid tower. But if you break mid tower, you get bot tower automatically as well, right? So it's just what they want to do. But I do think it is better if they can kill them. Especially if that, let's say they rotated super late. It would have been good. But I personally think that this might not be so good. Actually, no, this is fucking good. It's 5v4, no? Just TP, send it. Okay, nice. Oh, they should at least kill the Ornn. If someone survives, that's like so crazy. Holy shit, how did he not die, by the way? Like, this is good, because I just saw that Arya teleport advantage, right? And if they really want to stay in the tower, go kill them. Because they're slow, at Arya's TP. I do think Arya could have TP'd a lot earlier, though, like, a lot earlier. Because right now, this guy's really stuck in the tower, right? And this guy's walking up. I think he pulled the trigger, like, a little bit too late. Like, it's... Like, that 1-2 seconds actually really matters a lot. And I think... If I look at this, right? I think Nah, this Ornn is dead. For sure. Like, if he just, like, jumps here, Everfrost in this guy's fucking slowed, right? And then charms him after, like, this guy's just doomed. And I think Rakan has ultimate. Zarya's ultimate. They literally have everything. But I didn't want to use everything, I guess, on the Ornn, which does make sense, right? I wonder if Patrick could have like committed a bit harder here. Because right now, if the Tali uses combo, keep walking forward, hit the tower, and this guy's dead on my screen. I mean, this guy's dead. I think Patrick's just not walking up here. Because I was wondering, how did this Ornn survive, right? It's legit like one hit. Like, if he actually walked a little bit further, I think they could have killed him for sure. So that's a bit sad that I didn't kill him there, because they used a lot of resources there to try to kill him, but they didn't even kill him. They did get a tier 2 tower with this though, but honestly, Excel I think is playing really well though. Their decision making overall is actually pretty good. Because like, I was like live reviewing, right? I'm just like not playing the game, but they are having the right ideas in general, and they play really well at the moment. But okay, let's see. Okay, the third rig is up in X amount of time. Okay, so from Excel's perspective right now, right? You always have to try to identify. Okay, what are you playing for? Once you know what you're playing for, you have to identify, okay, what's the map state? Which means that each single individual has to call out tempo. So if Tristana pushes his wave base, go through mid lane, okay, he has tempo. Unless, of course, Ari decides to push his wave and match him on the mid lane, which he should do if they think they win the 4v4. Because why would you give the enemy mid priority if you can get it? Because mid priority after minute 14 is so important. Let's say if Ari goes one more top lane wave, they think this mid priority is not that great. But in this case, like, he should just push more top lane waves anyway. Okay, Ari is slightly hovering mid lane wave here, making sure they can secure it, but they're not going for it. I should look at the player camps. It is like so stressful, right? Both need to win one game for reals. Look at Mert. Actually kind of funny, but anyways. Oh, it seems like that they just want a base and wait for items. Because Zeri had like super late base, right? And they're just calling base together. So one thing that's super good here, which is that I think Excel called what they're playing for. So Zeri probably called, okay guys, I need my second item. So till then, everyone's chilling. And once he has his item, hopefully everyone has base and they play together. So right now they're probably playing for the little mid tower. But if you want to play for mid tower, you need to push side lane first to get mana advantage, right? So it's really good Iris around mid lane here, because you should be playing through mid to secure the wave into side lane. So they got the wave, and probably the next wave that's coming, right? They can look to push the division and play for mid lane tower. Because very often they're going to be catching the wave here, catching the wave there. And that's when they can look to force their summoners or try to kill them. Especially if there's no Drake up yet. Let's say Drake is in 1/2 minute, and you can force the summoners before the Drake. That would be really, really huge. So of course, if they're not showing side lane, just keep pushing side lane until they show there, right? But of course, since they're strong side and top side, Ari has to play a bit careful. And the next wave that's coming, that's when they'll be contesting. So I can tell you that this wave is coming, they're gonna send it probably. I mean, they're probably playing for the Drake here, so they're just gonna set up bot side control, and they're gonna play for that. On this wave, as you can see. Like, very good teams in general will always call, okay, on this wave, I'll be there, and when they're catching. And that's usually the timing where teams are like, okay, when someone says this is my turn, that's when people are gonna send it. So right here, ideally, they just send it on mid lane and try to take this tower, but Talia is like, you can't siege against this guy. So if you can't play for a tower, just wait for the objectives to spawn, and if these guys have to face check the Drake area, Kesante and Ari will have really good flank positions, and they will lose, for sure. So that's probably what Excel is going to do, which is playing in their zone. So they will just push the wave, play in their zone, and here's the thing, okay? They will make sure that if they go through these choke points, they will look for a fight. Because if one of them enters through the choke point, okay? These guys are in the backline, it's like so hard to follow. And usually the guys in the front line will usually die. So, especially in situations where Drake is up, in general, you always want to have your flanker on mid lane. So let's say they contest through here, okay? He has a flank. If let's say they are wanting to push mid lane, Ari can clear. Or if they really contest, these guys don't even have to start it. Ari can just push mid wave and force them to choose between the Drake fight or drop the mid lane wave. There's like multiple choices. But having Ari in general on the flank is really good. Especially when Drakes are respawning. Like he should not be standing here. I think him being on the side applies a lot more threat. Because any walks through here and he's like here, right? This is like so good. This doesn't allow these guys to play the game. But by just pressing S here, I'm telling you that if their front line goes deep here and the back line standing here, they see Ari here, they are going to be sweating. It's like right now he can. All they have to do is just press S here. Okay, wait, let's see. So the moment they walk in, right, and they give range, they should fight. Because here's the thing. When they're like walking in and they give range, the thing is they want to fight, and this guy's a super good position. It's going to be difficult for Humanoid to be hitting this guy. And this guy's in a really good position as well. If he stands like right here, I can tell that this guy on the front line, he will just take 3 damage while Limit and Abadage is zoned in the back line. Like you can create like a line and really zone the enemy team. But let's see how it's being played out. Okay, he just went from the front and they got. Oh, that was Rosnick, right? Yeah. I mean, they managed to kill this jungler instantly. Like, fight's already won. Like, I'm telling you that this guy can't hit, and the fight is just won. I think that. But this is what I mean. It's like super awkward, right? The moment they walk in, they have like so many angles. And their position from XL is really good. And I mean, the only thing, right, that they could. There's not much to do. Like, sure, Oscarini can maybe like block, but it's like that's like the only thing, right? But even if, let's say, Russell didn't get caught here, this guy will still take 3 damage no matter what. And Abadage is super good positioning and same for Limit. So and all of this is like a byproduct of before, which is that right here. Okay, previously. I mean, okay, they got their 2 items as well, right? Like, I'm not sure if Klee has 2 items. Okay, he does. But basically, the byproduct from before where K'Sante managed to push the side lane here. XL's respecting on his mid lane wave here. And now, because they're all chilling on top side, and I think Orange showed maybe. I'm not sure, but I think Orange showed somewhere. Oh my god. I mean, I'm not sure, right? But I think Orange showed here. In general, Orange should not be showing here. Because if Orange shows here, okay, it kind of removes the surprise effect. Because they're not really going to walk up if they see Orange, right? But if he kept hiding, okay, he needs to be a bit more careful too. Because imagine that for some reason that they move towards the bot side here. This guy's to be low-key sweating. But honestly, if they go bot side, they will take Baron XL. So, but in general, by him showing there, these guys are going to play so safe. Because ideally, the best thing for him to do, right, is to like not show. The moment his wave is low-key secured, okay, he should be like rotating back towards the ball lane. Try to catch the wave ASAP, okay. So the moment he catches the wave ASAP, this one, he just has to be ARAMing on this wave right here. So let's say he catches this wave here, okay, and then ignores this wave. And now he's on this mid lane wave, okay. What would happen is that they have a Talia, which is really good in ARAMing, and I would say that Talia outranges all of their champs. So unless they all in, they won't win. So it's all about who can ARAM better here, right? And I do think that if Kalista and Nawless had like slightly better tempo, and Ornn is here as well, I'm really confident that Fnatic can take the position on the Drake, and if they take the position on the Drake, none of that would have happened. But the issue right now is that they don't have their Ornn in front of them, so they can't just walk in. If Ornn was here, they could legit push them out. If focus Ornn, they don't win. But because Oscarini showed and covered ball in like a little bit too late, he wasn't on time on this wave, which in my opinion he should have been, because then, you know, it's 30 seconds before the Drake. And because he's late, they have control, and now they have super good position, which makes a lot more awkward. And XL capitalized on that opportunity that they're out of position and killed them. Because both team comps, I would say, are like low-key 4-1. No one's 1-1. So having control and positioning is just so key. So they got a bit screwed over there. Okay, so after this Drake is joined, okay? XL's like in a really good position right now. All they have to do is just play into the top side here.
and make sure that they control this area. And of course, just talk about tempo, and I'm pretty sure that okay, Zeri's catchable. Okay, I mean Fnatic is tempo because Zeri's taking golems for extra gold, and Tristana pushes top lane wave, right? So Fnatic is first on the map because one of them has to catch side lane here, and Tristana has time to go mid lane. So Fnatic should really capitalize on this opportunity to take control and make something happen. So Tristana's DP, so let me see. I mean, it is a bit difficult to just send it here, but I do think that and they shouldn't fight here. Because they're all top side, Tristana's bot side. Like they're just gonna wait till someone responds on the bot lane. Till then, they're not really fighting. They should not give range. They should really be careful. And of course, it is our Baron, Tristana's TP, so all their mindset is defensive. We just defend this and let Tristana keep pushing. If they dive, Tristana can TP. So I think that this was good for Fnatic. And it's good that Abadagi goes back top lane. So now this wave that's coming here, they should try to do something. Nice. But can they commit to him? They do have double teleport though. I do think this Sejuani is fine. Nothing's gonna happen. Okay, but this is the key thing though. They can now take the wave and take control in this area. And here's the thing. I think they should play 2 lanes at the moment where no one should go bot lane here. If someone shows bot lane, fuck that. One of them catches top lane wave and they get full control here and have the guy catch the wave here with teleport. Because that's just how they have to play at the moment. Ignore bot lane, full control. If they go for a fight on top side, at least force the K'Sante TP and then back off. So you get TP advantage. Because right now, if they just keep playing the game, they will lose. Okay, nice. They're fighting here. This is fucking good for Fnatic, by the way. They managed to get a TP, and if they take the small win, this guy's no more TP, which is really huge. Okay, nice. If they get Mr. Peach as well. Oh, that's actually really huge. So that's super good at playing 2 lanes, because no one should be going bot lane here. And this is super good what Fnatic does, because if someone shows bot lane, okay, and you have so much time, just even if they weren't trolling here, you take full control, and then if they troll, you can go for them. And if you force a TP here, you're hard chilling. And of course, this is like a 5v4 for like 3-4 seconds more. And Ari isn't even here, so it's a 5v3 even. So if anything, Sejuani shouldn't have been here, and they should have respected that there might be 5 men here. And usually you can have him respect more by, of course, K'Sante saying, guys, no one's showing bot, wait till someone shows. Because they definitely didn't have the right mindset here. This was not good. They should be more in a defensive state. But that's really what Fnatic needed, because I'm telling you that straight up 5v5, they will lose for sure. But that was a 5v3. So in general, the Baron rules are always, can you tank and can you finish? Yes. Can you tank and can you zone? They have no jungler, so I think they can tank and finish for sure. As long as they're carries, right? Stay in the pit, and the Ornn walks a bit more out and soaks the damage, they will get this Baron for sure. Like, there's no way they cannot get it. I think they should focus on finishing it though, and not really look for a turn ASAP. Okay, they can do both, I guess. Not too shabby. Okay, I mean, if they get out of here, ooh, okay. Oh. Ooh. I mean, that is not so good from Fnatic. I think they weren't really on the same page here, because right here, right? I think the thing that they should have been like really focused on is like Baron, 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 because they have no smite, and if these guys really overcommit, right? They're gonna die. It might look very small, right? And yes, they're one-shotting this guy here, but they're still tanking the Baron as well. And Rozor can't really follow, and I think they overcommit like a little bit too much. Oof, the Ari just barely managed to ult away. I mean, I'm more of a believer that just finish Baron here, and after Baron's finished, then look together for 5 men. Because Rozor isn't involved in this fight here as well. He's finishing the Baron.
Of course, you could have spaced a little bit better by like spacing that way, because they're really fighting, right? It's something you could have done, but it's of course difficult to do it in the moment, right? But yeah. It's actually a banger game though. I really love to watch these games. Okay. Ooh, okay. I mean, that's like pretty good for Fnatic though. Actually, but they still killed most of them, right? So that's still fucking good. They got the Baron, and they killed them. Who died though? Okay. Actually, only Nodus and Talia died. It's not the worst. I do think that probably everyone could have survived. Maybe worst case, support dies. So it's pretty good for Fnatic. Okay, let's see how this. Sadly the replay, but okay, let's see. Right now, Fnatic kind of has like a 4-1 team composition. They don't really want to 1-1, considering they have a lot of engage. So if they just know which wave they want to be contesting, which is probably going to be this wave on top lane they want to use. But of course, if they want to use a top lane wave, you need to secure the mid lane wave, right? So Talia, AD carry plus support should try to not show on top lane. Ideally, what they want to do is make sure that they can take this mid lane wave. They could have Ornn solo mid lane, just buff it with Baron buff and join top lane. Or they could as well just hover for mid lane here with Tristana TP and just secure the wave, top slow push a bit, and then rotate the top lane. But let's see what they do. I think personally, ideally they should always want to have the Ornn involved. That would be the best. I do think in this case though, they can just go for top, have Ornn mid lane. They can always rotate from top into mid into Ornn lane because they really want to play on the Ornn lane. Okay, they're catching top, yes. And let's say for some reason they can't siege this, okay? That's okay. Just go mid lane, have one guy stay, buff the wave, and you can kind of just like shift around, right? That's the options they have. Ooh, I like it, I like it. Okay, okay. Ooh, sadly, Kalista died there, but I like it in general. Ooh, oh, they're so low. I mean, this is honestly pretty decent for Exile, but the third Drake spawning, right? What even happened here? Let me see. Okay, that's the Ari, okay. I think... Oh, this got fucked. Ooh, I feel like this was actually very playable. I mean, sadly, Humanoid's tanking. You know, if Humanoid wasn't tanking there, right? He would have killed them all. So that was a little bit sad, actually. And if Tadaki was slightly better, I think he might have... he would have died. Okay, it's a Drake contest. Let me see about this Drake, though. I mean, Kalista is a little bit far away. Left side has Ariel, the rest it doesn't. I mean, if Fnatic fights this right now, I don't think it's that great. They have to play a bit slow and wait for Kalista. Oh, really good W from Razork. I mean, Ornn is flash. This is actually looking good for Fnatic. Because they used everything on Ornn. If Ornn flashes out here, they used everything and they're quite low. Kalista joining, I think that should be a win. Of course, unless Humanoid gets Insect. Wait, how the fuck did he get Insect? Like, how did he get... Holy shit, but Odam the Smurf there, buddy. He actually ulted the Tristana as he jumped. That was really well played. Oh shit, he smurfed us so fucking hard. I honor Odom there, honestly. Well, what was Mr. Peach doing? Ooh, mistake, buddy. That was a mistake, queuing in there. Man, the fight would have been so one for Excel. I can see why he queued there, right? But, because, like, actually, he did see the enemy team, even. He probably didn't think about Kalista. Because he wouldn't really die, right? From, like... But yeah, Kalista came in the party. Okay, the Drake is gone, sadly. Okay. Ooh. Actually, yeah, it's so nice to watch these games though. How nice League of Legends. Okay, but yeah, let me just go to the next play here. Okay, so from the next perspective now, right? I think that looking at the map state, it's very important to think before the objective spawns if you can get your third or fourth item, whatever it is. Because if enemy has 4 items, you have 3.5. Ideally, you would like to have 4 items, and they 4.5 or something, right? So it's all about power spike items at this point. Like who needs how much gold? But I think pure front to back. It's actually quite close. But honestly, I do think that Fnatic will win this game. Oh, what the fuck? They're 7k ahead actually, or 6k. Because I think Talia is so strong in this game. He's playing as Ari, Zeri, Rakan, and it's like he has frontline as well, right? And I think pure like lower fights, I think Talia will just win the fights. So they're gonna contest the wave. And like I said, this is super good. You remember the previous situation where Ornn was super late? I mean, you guys remember, right, on this Drake, where Ornn had to catch the wave there and oinked around a bit. Now they're all together. So now if they can just take this wave and play into the Baron, it's gonna be really good for them. Like, does Talia flash? Yes, right. Okay, now it's just about Aram, right? Just walk a bit close so Talia can press his Q. I think that these guys have summoners, okay. But they shouldn't commit too hard though, like, they just want to kind of play range and let enemy team overcommit. Like, they shouldn't hook in or something. Just hook and get out. Like, just kite out, yes. That was a good chunk. And that's how they want to play, and they're playing it really well. And like here, just focus on the wave. Like if they overstep, he can hook, but most important thing is the wave and play in your area, because taking Baron at this point for them takes 10 seconds. Okay, 9 seconds. It's actually 9 seconds. They take it really fast. They should probably start a Baron here and have Talia ult if they have. And the thing is that Nodus can always stand here, look for a hook, but they should start it. They can do it extremely fast. But their goal is, of course, not to finish the Baron. It's to look for a fight. Because these will be really good choke points to fight in. And of course, if they're too far away, they can always just look to finish it. In this situation, I think just finish and run topside. But you see how fast they do Baron? It literally took them 9 seconds. So what they did was hero super good. Push the wave, start the Baron. It took them... I mean, thought they were starting solo a bit earlier, right? And the Kalista hit a bit later, but it literally took them 9 seconds. And as a team, it's so important to practice how fast you can take it. Literally 9 seconds. And you know, walking from mid to Baron takes like 7 seconds or something. Look, 3-1. Like, by the time they've walked, Baron is literally gone, you see? Which is why if you recognize how fast you can do it, it's like so important. Because by the time they've arrived, look, Baron is literally gone. Okay, so right now, okay, there's a fight here. Do I like this fight or not? I mean, this fight is for sure good for Fnatic. I don't see them losing it, especially if XL's hard committing. They will win. Like XL needs to find a good angle from behind and play slow somehow. But pure front to back, they should not be winning. And whichever team hard commits is gonna lose. So when I see this, I think XL should be losing, but let's see. Because Kalista's ultimate, they're focusing on Ornn. They should lose this. Okay, that's Fnatic winner, guess, right? Actually, the banging game, dude, banging game. But yeah, that's it, I guess. But yeah, actually, it's a fucking nice game to watch. Sadly, Mr. Cast lost. I was really hoping for Cast to win, but yeah, sad for him. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the live review though. It was a really nice game to watch, and like hope you guys learned some stuff. And took like 1 hour or something, but yeah. Anyway, see you guys around. Yeah, peace.